Hello everyone and welcome back to the channel. Today we will continue the Grand Theft Auto model comparison series by taking a look at the iconic Carl Johnson model from the original and definitive editions of Grand Theft Auto San Andreas. As always, thank you for your viewership, and don't forget to like, share, and subscribe, and turn on notifications because I'm hearing that people only getting notifications for my videos 3 days after they uploaded. What's up with that, YouTube? Seriously. Anyway, let's go. After the dumpster fire, which was Claude's definitive edition model that was sporting a nightmarish 30,000 polygons, I was expecting CJ's model to have Garten of Banban levels of polygon mayhem. Okay, I'm talking straight up AI generated models of topology gore. So it came as a pleasant surprise to me to see that Carl Johnson came in at around 2k polygons, which got me thinking about what the topology must look like for Visetti's definitive edition model. Why is this guy look so goofy? They said Tommy Visetti. This is Johnny Spaghetti over here. Okay, so Thomas Linguini over here is sporting about 16k polygons, which totally threw me for a spin because this means that the polygon counts reduce as you go from GTA 3 to San Andreas. Now, the originals all had polygon counts within the same range, which is like 1 to 2k, with CJ being the heaviest one, which, as we saw in the Mayrune's Dagon video, which you guys should go check out, should be the progression of how polygon counts go. The newer the game, the more polygons it'll probably have. So this suggests a few things to me. One, the time crunch was so ungodly restricting, and they had to choose which game they're gonna prioritize, and they chose San Andreas, which is the most popular among the three, so it's understandable. And they spent the most amount of time polishing CJ and Versetti's model, and then just pushed Claude's model out of the gate, just raw, no topologizing, no nothing, just finish the model out the gate. Is the only way I can describe it, because it has literally 3 times more polygons than CJ. Now, I've seen some rather scathing comments about the team that made these models, and I'll be honest, I do partake in it too, but I'm going to try to be a bit more charitable and say that if they had more time and better direction, this could have been, not this, pretty much. After looking at other character models from the same game generation, as I did in the Mayrune's Dagon comparison video, which again, I just strongly request you go watch, please. I want to do the same for the San Andreas, for GTA, just like the San Andreas game series, because, it is so close to my heart, as I assume it is, close to all y'all hearts, because why y'all here, right? So let's dive into some other PS2 games and compare the polygon counts. Dante from the very first Devil May Cry game. Oh, by the way, I did a 2-hour special video reviewing all the Dante models. You should go check that out if you're a DMC fanboy like me. Help a brother pay the rent. Anyway, from a hack and slash game is sitting at around 5k polygons, right? This is similar to the polygon count of the man who came from Kazuya's nutsack, Tekken 5's Jin Kazama, coming in at just 100 shy of 6k with 5.9k polygons. I wanted to also compare Dante's model to another famous hack and slash character, Kratos from God of War 2, that also has around 5k polygons. So that's 3 non-open world games sporting 5k polygon range characters on the PS2, which makes perfect sense because these games have limited environments depending on what the set is going on. So you could do that. Back in the time when polygon density had a effect on performance, you had that leeway. Anyway, this also matches the same polygon count range as everyone's favorite twink, Leon Kennedy, coming in at 4.9k polygons, just 100 under 5, and of course everyone's favorite dead wife Avenger, Pyramid Head, who also has about 5k polygons. Everyone's favorite. Anyway, so I was curious to see if other open world games also shared the same polygon count range, because we've seen a huge difference, almost 5 times polygon count difference between San Andreas and other third person hack and slash games slash fighting games. So we're gonna begin with Homer Simpson's model from The Simpsons Hit and Run is about 1.4k polygons, right? But I just quickly want to talk about how they did the textures on this because I find it so cool, right? All the characters, at least most of them, have a single tiny little image, right, that has all these like color blocks on it, right? And then they just squish the UVs down to as small as they can and then displace them into these color blocks because each character is these are solid color. They're cartoon characters, so just like one solid color. So you could use this one texture for literally everybody. And in terms of like optimization, this is so money, dude. I find this so impressive. Terry's model from Driver Parallel Lanes, another game that I have not played, also has about 1.8k. So I'm starting to see a bit of a pattern here. The outlier for this was Marcus Reed's model from True Crime Streets of New York. That's actually closer to like Jin and Dante and Kratos, coming in with at 4.3k polygons. But from what I understand, that open world is not as in-depth as San Andreas, so it tracks. Dan Morello's model from Mafia 1 has about 900k polygons and looks like it's straight up out of a PS1 game. I remember thinking this looks like Lego or like wood carvings that I'm playing as when I played this game as a wee child. And for the last guy, we have Mi Amor, Mi Corazon, Ramiro Cruz from Total Overdose fame. And if any of you guys played this game, then you know this game was insanely awesome. This game was the sauce. This game made you feel like you were playing an early Robert Rodriguez film like Desperado, El Mariachi type thing. So the model though is posed up, which kind of tells me that this is a cutscene model. But if you look at the cutscenes in the game and the gameplay, you can tell they just used the exact same models here. There's no difference here. But it's but you know, pay attention to this because it'll come in a bit handy just now. This information will come in a bit handy just now. So he comes in at 2.1k polygons, which again falls in range with San Andreas, right? Which, you know, really strongly suggests to me that this era of games, polygon counts really did have an impact on performance. This was pretty much confirmed to me when I took a look at the models of Tidus and Sora from Final Fantasy and Kingdom Hearts, respectively. Both have a high poly and low poly models, one for gameplay and one for cutscenes, I assume. Why not just use the gameplay model in the cutscene, you ask? See, the cutscenes need to be more expressive and lively because there's going to be like performances and talking and stuff like that, and you need a higher polygon count for things to deform properly. I think I'll make a whole video just explaining this concept alone, but I feel like I've said this a million times on this channel already, so yeah, I'll just make a video on it and never mention it ever again. But I find this super interesting though. I find this super, like the differences between the low poly and high poly, it's pretty cool stuff. So, from this little tangent, we can begin to understand why the original CJ has about 2k polygons. GTA San Andreas had a massive world for PS2 game, and they had to take every liberty they could to fit all that goodness onto one disc. It was originally supposed to come on 4 discs like a Final Fantasy game, but they optimized the ever-living hell out.
Sensational.
This game was so damn goated. Oh my gosh. And with the definitive CJ having the most optimized topology of the 3 models, this tells me that they spent most amount of time on the definitive San Andreas one, because as I mentioned before, it was the most popular of the trilogy. And as for Tommy and Claude, they just pushed them out the gate, whatever. So yeah. So they could have done, you know, a halfway decent job if they had more time, but they didn't. Anyway, enough about polygon counts. Let's go talk about the modeling and design. Now, if you have spent even a fraction of a nanosecond on the internet, then you've seen a meme or an image or something featuring this iconic design. Its brilliance, though, is in the details. Wait, am I nostalgia glazing right now? Yes, I am. On the gray box, we can see that he still has the mitt hands that both Claude and Vercetti have, but they tried to make the fingers look a little more distinguished at the tips. This allows CJ to pretty much, you know, hold guns, punch, and all that while saving up on all these in between the fingers polygons, I mean. I'm also getting the vibe that they took the optimization to the next level at the cost of some of the graphical fidelity, which we can forgive because of how absolutely fantastic this game was. The body is also not segmented like Claude, of which some absolute legends in the comments of the GTA 3 video mentioned it was most likely due to technical limitations of the time. Pretty much weight painting was non-existent when they were making GTA 3, so they had to like strap each segment onto a bone, and thus they had to be made in pieces so it can deform without looking wonky, without looking bad. And I'm going to be making a whole video going in depth on this very topic after the Vice City comparison video, so stay tuned for that one. All the surface details, like the belt, the briefs, are being handled by the texture, which is straight up, part and parcel of the PS2 era. Style shading, right there, that's what we do, And of course, all the faces are triangulated because it's a game model. One detail that I find pretty cool is that CJ is the only one of the trilogy models to have eyes that are actually modeled in. Tommy and Claude both have eyes that are just like eye.jpg painted over their face like it's a shiesty. But yeah, just in terms of the general design, I really like it. And I don't know what else I can say besides, in terms of 2004 open world game, this is peak modeling, He's not segmented, but he is very clearly defined. I can dig it. Now, I came in ready to absolutely hate the definitive model for CJ, but I'm gonna take my hater hat off for a little while because this one is the only one they did the most justice to in terms of design. Note, I said the most justice. It still looks like an action figure that was left in the sun for too long. This is Timu CJ right here. A lot of the stuff that was being handled by texturing is now just modeled in, which, I gotta give it to him, is taking good advantage of, tech of the time. But the texturing on these shoes, though, look mad sus. This looks very AI generated, It's like Grove Street Games, y'all are not beating the AI allegations anytime soon. The difference in polygon density between the face and body is actually kind of crazy, with the head alone having over 3k polygons. Fair if you're going to use them, but come now. And to close it off, CJ has a fully modeled hand. Only took him 20 years, but yeah. But I find it weird that the Claude model has more like modeled in details like the zipper and the belt and all that, while CJ doesn't have as much. Just, oh my god, these models are all over the place. And I just want to take the time to say that this hand looks atrocious. Looks like hot dog. Looks like a balloon. Okay, the hand on Claude was way better looking because at least it had some definition, but maybe that's because of the higher polygon count. But man, these models are, oh my lord. So out of 10, I'm gonna give this definitive remake like a 5 out of 10. Okay, they saw the vision, but they decided to close their eyes and draw it from memory. Now let's go talk about some textures and shaders. Now, I wanted to make CJ look authentically PlayStation 2 because somebody in the previous video, the GTA 3 video, mentioned that the Claude's model looked a bit pale. That's because I connected it straight to the PBR shader. So I decided to forsaken that and just connect it straight into the output, and it came out looking pretty money. So CJ is comprised of 4 diffuse textures, all around 100 by 100 pixels, which is how, just games worked back then. They also do the whole like half a texture, then you overlap the UVs over it, mirroring parts that are identical. So yeah, this gave it that PS2 look, which was so aesthetic in my opinion. I just love it. I just love it so much. The defective edition has this oily, shiny look to it, making it look like a porcelain statue more than anything. But like, why the hell did they give CJ a 5 o'clock shadow though? Why? I always felt like it was clean shaven, but anyway. Here is how I set up the shaders for the definitive model. If I did anything wrong here, let me know, because I had to add color ramps and stuff to adjust them to get them looking not bad. So this is just how they came out the box, okay? They did have the texture tile sizing right though, making, larger parts have larger texture tiles, and That's also good on them, but this reeks of a severe lack of art direction, as it looks like it's stuck between a realism stylization limbo, with some elements like the use of PBR shaders suggesting that they wanted realism, but their shaders are also super harsh, which kind of suggests a lean towards stylization, and the proportions are also a little exaggerated, like it's supposed to be a cell shaded like type of thing. But man, it's so much like confusion in these models, dude. It's kind of frustrating, honestly. So this is the importance of having a competent art director in your team, because like stylistic cohesion is literally everything. It's shocking that with almost 5 times less the polygon count, the original CJ model looks far more aesthetically sound than its definitive edition counterpart, you know? It's sad, really, because, you know, this game means so much to so many people. And also, again, these hands look absolutely atrocious, like friggin' hot dog pack fingers, dude. Like, man, low-key, the mitt hands, the glove hands, kind of look better than this, because at least, you know, they looked like a hand and not like you're trying to smuggle balloons. But in my opinion, the definitive model has too many textures on it just to have it look so oily that it's about to get invaded by the US. But it did use a texture that I have not seen before, a parallax occlusion, which is like a height or bump map, but for the occlusion, which is like the shadowy crevices, which is meant to add more depth to the shader, but the only depths I'm seeing here are the depths of hell, because only Satan can make such an unholy model. Now, if you've made it this far into the video, then, you know, congratulations, you have unlocked the bonus model comparison. Woo! Yeah, let's go. Bonus comparison time. Welcome to the bonus comparison. We're going to be looking at Claude from GTA 3 and San Andreas, because all the real ones know Claude's first canonical appearance in the GTA series was actually in San Andreas, as the game took place in 1992, while the events of GTA 3 took place in 2001. But despite being from a more recent game, the San Andreas Claude actually has 200 less polygons, coming in at about 1.2k polygons, while Claude has about 1.5k. Biggest difference is that the San Andreas Claude has its jacket open and some Chuck Taylors on, while the original Claude has just like regular, not Chuck Taylor sneakers on. And I think they successfully made him look a lot younger, because, you know, I mean, look at his face. It's so youthful, so bright and full of life. See, that's the face of a man yet to feel the betrayal of getting shot in the face by a spicy Latina mama. Now, I think that's pretty much everything about that. So now let's do a side by side and wrap it up. I've always loved CJ's model. And, you know, San Andreas just in general. I almost feel like I'm like meeting a celebrity almost doing this comparison, which is why it's so devastating knowing that someone drew a salary bringing him into the modern era of games and ended up with him looking like CJ's cousin or something. Look, it's okay to switch up the design of the model in the remaster or remake, like we saw in the Mayron's Day Gone comparison video, but I cannot give this model the same charity, because they were trying to upgrade the model but ended up making it look like it was just shoved into one of those cringy AI enhancers. At least they put some effort into apologizing this one, sort of, kinda. But you don't need to know anything about 3D graphics and CGI to see that they did an absolutely atrocious job at this. Like, do you need to be a chef to tell if the food tastes bad? No, you don't. So, where the original CJ has charm and era-based aesthetics, the definitive CJ has bloat, misguided art direction, and a whole lot of Vaseline. But yeah. Well, I think that's pretty much all I have to say. As always, thank you for your time and viewership, and I'm still doing the Q&A for my 1K subscriber special. So if you have any questions you would like me to answer in person, drop them below with the hashtag 1K Q&A. And if you enjoyed the video and want some more of this Andy Mush goodness, why don't you go ahead and subscribe and turn on all notifications too. I'm hearing that people only see notifications like 3 days after I upload a video. Huh? It's crazy. Anyway, yeah, as always, thank you for being you. Andy out.